I totally remember like popping my knuckles more to try and get my knuckles to get bigger so I would look skinnier. Which now that I say that, it just sounds so absurd.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Marley. I'm 35, and I'm going to get naked and draw a picture of myself.
What was your sport of choice?
I ride bikes, and I'm an athlete who's all about size inclusion in the bike world.
How'd you get into that?
Well, I've been fat my whole life, and I love riding bikes, and I never thought it was a big deal. We get told all the time that being fat is like bad or negative, and to me it's just a descriptor. So if I can like come out here and be confident in who I am and who my body is, and maybe inspire some other folks to do the same, that's why I'm here.
You nervous at all?
I'm nervous for the drawing. I'm like the world's worst artist. I'm not nervous about getting naked. So.
Why not?
I really like my body. It does cool things.
When you're ready, go ahead and step behind the screen, get into your robe.
Okay, cool.
As soon as you are ready, you take off your robe. Do you have an idea of how you want to pose?
No, not really. The only like thing I've ever done similar to this is like awkward Tinder photos to send to people. All right, let's do it. Like, can we do like I feel like I'm on America's Next Top Model and like failing.
How were you taught to think about your body?
I was taught to be proud of my body, honestly, at home. My mom was pretty counterculture. It was like what's inside of ourselves that counts more. Once I hit puberty, I was like sexualized. So that definitely played into some of the shame that I felt of like being a larger person. And I totally remember like popping my knuckles more to try and get my knuckles to get bigger so I would look skinnier. Which now that I say that, it just sounds so absurd.
When did you begin to see yourself as different compared to the other bodies around you?
I was in like 4th grade and I had gotten this shirt that I was like so excited about. And I remember it had horizontal stripes. And my dad was like, oh, you shouldn't wear horizontal stripes. You're short and you're fat. Like, we don't wear those things. Because he also had like shared the same body type as me. Once I realized that like, oh, I'm gonna live in a large body for pretty much my entire life, you know, I did start some like a little bit of disordered eating. I like would get cases of Slim Fast from Costco and hide them in the trunk of my car in high school, which in hindsight was the worst tasting stuff ever.
What got you into sports?
I got divorced and it was awful. And basically everybody I wanted to hang out with was riding bikes. And so I was like, I want to do that. And now like my whole life revolves around bikes. I consider myself an adventure cyclist. I take other people on bike rides and teach them how to go bike camping because my whole thing is bringing more people into cycling and making it an inclusive sport. You know, I'm not your typical cyclist. I am a fat woman and I'm not ashamed of that.
Is there a body type that's preferred in your sport?
The skinny, sinewy, muscly person probably works well for people who are road racing. But I think as you get into other disciplines of cycling, whether that is like endurance riding like I do, or bike camping, or transportation cycling, like any body type works.
What are some myths about athletes?
That we're all tiny and skinny. Athletes come in all shapes and sizes. Also that to be an athlete, you have to be like super high caliber. Like if you're doing any sport, you can consider yourself an athlete. I think we have a lot of like boundaries in our society that it's like, you're this or you're not. And it's like, why can't anybody be an athlete? This is pretty liberating. All right, I think I'm good.
Okay, all right. Tell me about it, what's going on?
The little black spots on my body are the tattoos. And then I tried to represent my like unicorn mermaid hair that's happening right now. And my open mouth, which kind of on this looks like a blow up doll. That was not my intent. But I feel like it like captured my personality.
Nice, all right, thank you very much.